Hello, wonderful people of the internet. Today I'm going to be doing a book tag. So, question 1. How many books is too many books in a series? Now, I tend to read standalone books opposed to series, so I can't really comment on that. But I would say that it's as long as it takes to tell the main story. So if you've told the main story in, let's say, 5 books, but then you decide to add on another 5 books after that, starting a new story, that can get stale. So it doesn't really matter how many books, as long as it's only telling the main story. Question 2. How do you feel about cliffhangers? Now, I'm not opposed to cliffhangers, but I don't particularly enjoy them either. It's really about how they're done. They can't be lazy, so it's just like, oh, you know, the character's just hanging off of a cliff, literally, to make you read the next book. That's not going to interest me. But if there's been a plot twist at the end and they've decided to cut it off there, and the plot twist makes sense, then I suppose that's well done. And yes, I won't have a problem with that then, except I would hate having to wait ages for the next book to come out. Question 3. Hardcover or paperback? Now, I actually prefer paperbacks because I read in bed, and that's a lot easier to hold a paperback in your hands, sitting in bed, than a hardback that, like this Sherlock Holmes book here. You know, that's going to get heavy, and it's not going to be comfortable. Plus, paperbacks are a lot more durable, whereas with a hardcover, you know, you can really see the damage on them. So, question 4. What is my favourite book? Well, my favourite book has to be The Shining by Stephen King. It's the only book I've read by King, but his writing style with the story itself was magnificent. I enjoyed every second of it, and well, there's not much I can say about it because I don't know what it was that made me love it so much. But King really, he was amazing at encapsulating that sense of isolation, and the characters practically leapt off the page for me, and it was really disturbing to see, as I don't think this is a spoiler because a lot of people know about this by now, as Jack Torrance slowly descended into psychotic madness. Oh, and the movie's good too. So question 5, my least favourite book. Now, this is going to be a tad controversial. My least favourite book is Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. Now, I know this is a pioneering work of science fiction, and, you know, I should enjoy it, but I found that the writing got very repetitive after a certain point. And I think that was after the monster was created, because we had about, I can't remember how many pages, a period where the monster is watching a family and learning the human ways, and he carries on thinking how friendly they are and how much he wants to be with them over and over and over. And the same with Dr. Frankenstein. He carries on thinking about how miserable he is over and over and over. And that really, really irritated me. And while I do love the questions raised in this, you know, is playing God right? What's the responsibility of a creator to its creation? I just felt that the writing style wasn't for me, and I can perfectly understand why this was such an important work of fiction, but I just didn't enjoy it. Question 6 is love triangles, yes or no? Now, I haven't read many romance books. In fact, I believe the only ones I've read are up here. That's Twilight, and that is a love triangle itself. And I didn't really like it in that because, you know, it's girl has to choose between dead man and dog. Not great choices. And I'm sure that a love triangle can be good when done correctly, but not in that case. So I can't really comment there. So 7, the most recent book you couldn't finish. That is also Frankenstein. I got to about page 110, and I knew how it was going to end. And I thought, I can't carry on here. I wasn't enjoying it, and I thought I don't want to waste my time reading things that I'm not enjoying, so I had to drop it. Number 8, a book you're currently reading. Now, I'm in that iffy state between when I've just finished a book, which was, one sec. And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie, which was an absolutely amazing book. I recommend this to anyone, really. But what I intend on reading next is Murder on the Orient Express, also by Agatha Christie. So that is technically a book that I'm currently reading, but I haven't started it yet. Number 9, the last book you recommended for someone. No, I did just recommend And Then There Were None, but we'll forget that. The most recent book I actually recommended to someone in person was The Shining. And that is because it is absolutely amazing. And I know some people don't like it, but I feel like if you like horror and you're looking for, you know, that's the first horror book I've ever read, so I can't really speak for many people. But it felt quite new and interesting for me, so for people who haven't started the horror genre, I'd recommend reading The Shining. So, number 10 is oldest book you've read by publication date. Also Frankenstein. I think it says it on the back. 1818. So that's definitely the earliest book I've read by, the oldest book I've read so far. The newest book I've read by publication date is up here. Move out the way, please, Balrog. The Taylor Turbo Chaser. So this was actually got for me by someone for Secret Santa in my form at school. And it was actually a really good book. I don't really read books like this, but I enjoyed it a lot. Question 12 is... my favourite author. Now that has to be Stephen King, and I know I've only read one of his books, but already the voice and his ability to write a book just blew my mind. Oh, I've also read The Shawshank Redemption by Stephen King, so forget what I just said. Yes, definitely Stephen King. I love both of the books I've read by him. He's amazing. Question 13. Buying or borrowing books. Now, I actually prefer to have my own books. I like to display them on my shelves, but that's sad for me because being only 13, I don't exactly have a constant flow of money coming my way. So I do prefer buying them, but if I'm particularly low on money and desperate, I will, go to the library or ask my friends to give me one if they've got them. Question 14. A book you dislike that everyone seems to love. Now, I'm not going to say Frankenstein this time. I'm actually going to say Momo by Michael End. Now, on Goodreads, I've looked at a few reviews of this, and a lot of people seem very positive about it, but I didn't really like it. And I didn't hate it, but there was a lot of stuff going on in it, and it was very abstract and, symbolic, but I like things to sort of make sense in the books that I read. And in Momo's case, I just didn't get that, but I can understand why you'd enjoy it, because it was a well-written book, and I did enjoy the first third of it, so, I can understand why you'd like this. Bookmarks or dog ears is question 15. So, I definitely prefer bookmarks to dog earing, and I'll only actually dog ear a book if there's nothing, if I'm out and I've taken a book with me and forgot a bookmark, then I'll have to resort to dog earing. But if there's something lying around the house or I'm near an actual bookmark of mine, and I'll stick that in there because I don't like how the book looks after I fold the pages. I actually folded Frankenstein's pages. You can't really see it, but here, it stayed there. Question 16. A book you can always reread. Now, I don't actually reread books very much at all, so I can't comment on that, but I can imagine if I were to reread a book, it would probably be these lovely books here, the Death series of Discworld. They're absolutely laugh out loud hilarious, and I love especially Reaper Man reading about death as he's in the human world and figuring out how humans live, knowing that their end is so imminent. Question 17. Can you read while listening to music? Now, I have never actually tried that, so I can't really say, but I can imagine I could if it was calm background music, but if it was in your face, rock music, I won't be able to focus at all. Question 18. One POV or multiple? Now, that depends on the story, but I do really enjoy multiple POVs because I get to know lots of different characters. And in a mystery like And Then There Were None, it's great to have multiple POVs because you can sort of cross people off the list of who you think is guilty as you go along the story. And A Game of Thrones is another one. The multiple POVs in that were amazing because all the characters were really interesting. The Shining as well. I like multiple POVs if it suits the story and the characters are really interesting. Question 19. Do you read a book in one sitting or over multiple days? Now, I'm a really, really slow reader, so I have never been able to read a book in one sitting except from the Twits when I was 9 years old. I think that's it. So yeah, it's definitely over multiple days. Although if I'm near the end of the book, then I'll binge read no matter how long. With And Then There Were None, I was only 100 pages from the end, and I sat there for 3 hours and got all the way through that. And question 20 is actually, who do I tag? Now, obviously, I tagged the creator of this book tag list, and I don't know who they are, so I can't give a name. But I also tag Murphy Napier, who is a booktuber. She's absolutely amazing, great content. She's the reason that I film this, because recently she released a book tag video, and she's the reason that I'm here filming a booktube video today. So I definitely recommend and tag Miss Napier and Mrs. Napier and her content. Okay, so that's me, and hopefully I will film another video soon. Thanks for watching, like and subscribe, and bye.